Welcome, friends and fellow VEDSies, to my kitchen. Now, something I wanted to do this year was to make cooking videos. I know what you're saying. Caleb, are you a good cook? I'm okay. I'm fine. Am I good enough to be making cooking videos? No. But who's gonna stop me? The only person who could physically stop me right now would be my roommate, and he's not here. I have free reign of the house, so unless his cat's gonna attack me, I'm gonna do this. So welcome to dinner every day in September. Except I'm only doing these videos once a week. And what's the best part of dinner? That's right, dessert. So I'm gonna make my favorite dessert for you today. It's called Derby pie. A lot of people don't know what this is, and that's mainly because it's a regional food. It is a dessert that is connected to the Kentucky Derby, which is a horse racing thing, I've been told. All right, let's get started. Here's what you're gonna need. You'll need some self-rising flour, some vanilla, some choco chips, 1 stick of butter, some coconut, some sugar, some walnuts, 1 egg, and a pie crust. I was gonna make a pie crust for this video. I've never done that before, but I needed to get rid of this frozen one that was in the freezer, so we're using that one today. Obviously, if you can make pie crust, it probably will taste better. What you want to do before you start is get your oven preheating. So let's go do that. You want to preheat it to 350. First step, we take the egg. Off to a great start. One of my favorite memories of my roommate is living with him is that he asked me how to crack an egg. Because he really had never done any cooking before. You crack it. That's what I told him. I honestly didn't know how to explain it to him. But with this egg, you're going to want to crack it into a bowl and slightly beat it. I use a fork to do that and just go at it a little bit. Don't go too hard. You're just roughing it up a bit. Do it for like 10, 15 seconds. You'll be good. We'll set that in the bowl, actually. Let's do that. It's raining eggs. Hallelujah, it's raining eggs. Hey, hey. Next, you'll want a cup of sugar. Then a half cup of your self-rising flour. I've also made this pie with all-purpose flour before, so I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Now, next is the flour. You need to melt this, so let's get another bowl. Now, I have found that it's better, the butter will melt faster if you cut it up into pieces. All right, and now that the butter's melted, we just pour that in there over the butter, or the flour and the sugar. Now for those walnuts. Let's get a cup of those bad boys. And there are a couple bigger ones in here, so I'm gonna kind of eyeball those and break them up because you don't want to be eating the pie and then you have a whole walnut on you. And the thing with these, this and the chocolate chips and the coconut, when we get into those, you can leave out whatever ones you want, make substitutions, all that stuff. These are what I tend to like in mine, but I know that occasionally I'll be making this for people who don't like coconut, and so I'll leave out the coconut and blah, blah, blah. All right, so we finished up with the walnuts, so let's move on to the chocolate chips. So here's my trick with the chocolate chips. In your chocolate chip container, you want half of those to be semi-sweet or dark chocolate, and you want the other half to be milk chocolate. That gives a nice little balance to the flavor and stuff. And it just kind of adds some variety to it. They taste so good together. Mix your chocolates, folks. And the vanilla. And finally, the coconut. This tends to be the one that turns people off from the dish, but usually if you use just a half cup, you don't really taste it by itself. It blends in very nicely. So a lot of people who I know don't like coconut still will eat the pie because they don't realize it's in there. I think what it does, especially, is it adds a nice texture to the pie. Why are you beeping? Now, if you like coconut, feel free to add a little bit more. If you don't like coconut, but you still kind of want it in there to get the full flavor balance, then maybe put in a little bit less. Half cup usually works pretty well for me. And then you just gotta mix this sucker up. Make sure that you put the ingredients in that order. You can experiment around with it a little bit, especially with the toppings, but that tends to usually work the best. And this is what you kind of want it to look like when it's done, kind of this gooey thing. Consistent tannish yellow color, because you want to make sure that especially the egg got mixed in really well there. And of course you want a good level of viscosity. This is why I shouldn't be making cooking videos. Viscous is not a word you should utter in your kitchen, ever. But let's get that into the pie shell. Once you got all in there, just make sure that's kind of evenly spread out. And the oven's done. Perfect timing. And now we just pop that bad boy into the oven and set the timer for 45 minutes. So fun fact, real cooking shows already have the meal prepared, and then once they're done showing you how to prepare the meal, they just pull out that one and taste that so that they don't have to waste time waiting for it to cook. I'm not a real show, so I had to wait 45 minutes for this to cook, and after that, I got bored and impatient, so I did not let it cool all the way. Which means that it looks a little jank, and that when I tried to cut a piece, it became 2 pieces. But that doesn't matter. All that matters is the taste. So, time for a taste test. Good as always. I don't know if it's because I used self-rising instead of all-purpose flour, but it does taste a little different, a little bit less sweet, but I don't think that is really a detriment. If anything, it doesn't kind of overpower you with the richness, which it sometimes can. I've cooked this pie hundreds of times. I didn't expect it to be anything but good, but yeah, it's good, and you should try it if you like pie and chocolate and all the things that would put into the pie with the chocolate. And so there we have our first dinner every day in September, or I guess since it was pie, dessert every day in September. If you have any recommendations for recipes that I should try, leave them down in the comments below, and I will see y'all tomorrow.